Have you ever walked into a store, tried on an outfit, and felt like it added about 10 pounds to your frame? It happened to me just yesterday. I'm Carol, and as a mid-size woman, I've spent years studying what really works for our bodies. Some clothes are true saboteurs, transforming even Kate Moss into someone who looks like they stepped out of an episode of This Is Us. The reality is cruel but transformative. The right clothes can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. And, girlfriend, many celebrities we admire only look so slender in photos because they've mastered this art that I'm going to share with you today. If you've also been on this weight roller coaster like me since childhood, subscribe to the channel now, activate the bell, and leave your like. Each week, I bring content that transforms ordinary women into truly elegant ladies. And yes, elegance can be extremely profitable in today's world. Oh, and for those who dream of traveling with class and sophistication without making those mistakes that scream tourist, check out my ebook, Be Elegant When Traveling: Global Etiquette for the Sophisticated Traveler. The link is in the first pinned comment. Ready to discover which clothes are sabotaging you daily? Let's get to what matters. 1. Low-rise skinny jeans. Low-rise skinny jeans were a phenomenon in the 2000s, popularized by Britney Spears and Paris Hilton. However, what no one told you is that this piece is a visual trap for most women. When we opt for low-rise jeans, we create an effect called muffin top, that fat that spills over the waistband. As a woman who values presentation, I can affirm, your clothes need to be an ally in the court of life. Low-rise jeans create a horizontal line at the widest point of the hip region. Therefore, they draw the eye precisely to that area. It's like putting up a neon sign saying, "Look at my widest part." The solution? Choose high or mid-rise jeans that elongate your silhouette. They create a more favorable vertical line and, when well-fitted, hug your curves without creating unwanted volume. For years, I tried to squeeze into low-rise jeans, but I always felt uncomfortable. When I finally accepted that my body deserved clothes that valued it, my self-esteem improved significantly. The right clothes not only make us look better, but also make us feel better, and that's authentic elegance. 2. Unstructured oversized tops and blouses. Oversized tops became trendy with the normcore and minimalist fashion movement. They are comfortable, yes, but they can be treacherous. As someone who has always been mid-size, I discovered in the worst way that very loose clothes without structure can create a circus tent effect, where the fabric falls from the shoulders and creates a uniform volume that completely hides your silhouette. Meghan Markle made this mistake a few times in post-maternity appearances, when she chose oversized tops for formal events. The result was a series of headlines questioning if she was pregnant again, when in reality it was just an unfortunate clothing choice. The issue isn't about completely avoiding loose pieces, but rather finding balance. If you wear something wide on top, opt for something tighter on the bottom, and vice versa. The proportion rule is fundamental. Volume in just one area at a time. A tip that revolutionized my wardrobe was investing in wider tops, but with structured details on the shoulders or a defined waist. Designers like Victoria Beckham are masters at creating roomy clothes that still maintain the elegance of the silhouette. Sometimes, a simple thin belt at the waist completely transforms an oversized blouse, changing it from "I just woke up" to casual and purposeful elegance. 3. Wide horizontal stripes. Horizontal stripes make you look fat. You've heard this 1,000 times, haven't you? But the issue is more complex. The problem isn't the stripes themselves, but rather the width and positioning of them. When Kate Middleton appeared pregnant wearing a blouse with thin horizontal stripes, she proved that it's possible to wear them elegantly. The secret? Her stripes were thin and the fabric was structured. Wide stripes, especially in fabrics that cling to the body, are the real problem. As a law specialist who needs to maintain a professional image, I learned that patterns can be great allies or enemies. Wide horizontal stripes create an illusion of width because our eyes naturally follow these lines, visually expanding the area. It's basic physics applied to fashion, but we don't need to completely abandon stripes. Try versions with thin stripes, or mix stripes of different thicknesses. Another tip is to opt for horizontal stripes only on parts of the body that you want to highlight, like the bust, for example, and keep the rest of the outfit in solid colors. In my case, after years of avoiding any kind of striped pattern, I discovered that a sailor blouse with thin stripes and a V-neck can be extremely flattering when paired with high-waisted, solid-colored pants. It's all a matter of balance and proportion. 4th, Shift dresses and skirts. Shift dresses, popularized in the 60s by Twiggy, may seem like a safe and classic choice. But the truth is that they were created to flatter extremely thin and curveless bodies, basically the opposite of what most real women have. Reese Witherspoon, who is similar in height to me, is rarely seen in completely straight dresses. Why? Because she knows that, for women with natural curves, this cut creates a block effect that eliminates the waist and makes it look like we have the same diameter from shoulders to knees. The perfect shift dress for Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's is not necessarily ideal for us, women with curves. The problem is that this type of dress falls from the shoulders directly to the hem, without any definition at the waist, creating a uniform volume effect. The solution is simple. Look for dresses that have some structure or definition at the waist. It doesn't need to be extremely fitted, but a slight adjustment already makes all the difference. Designers like Carolina Herrera and Diane von Furstenberg are masters at creating dresses that highlight the waist without being excessively tight. An elegant alternative is to choose an A-line dress which gently marks the waist and then opens into a wider skirt. This cut is universally flattering and ideal for formal and work events. 5. Large and flashy prints. Large prints had their moment of glory when the Kardashian sisters began wearing them on their reality shows. However, like many trends launched by celebrities, they are not necessarily flattering for most women. As someone who loves fashion but values timeless elegance, I discovered that very large prints work as focal points that attract the eye to specific areas of the body. When this print is positioned in areas we want to disguise, the result is disastrous. Visual perception studies show that our eyes are naturally attracted to large and contrasting patterns. That's why, when wearing a dress with huge printed flowers, you'll be directing all eyes to where these flowers fall, not always the desired effect. Michelle Obama, known for her impeccable style, rarely wears very large prints at formal events. When she opts for prints, they are usually proportional to her physical size and strategically positioned. My personal rule is, the larger the print, the smaller the area of the body it should cover. A scarf with a large print can be elegant. An entire dress with the same print can be excessive. Prefer smaller and more delicate prints for larger pieces, reserving more dramatic patterns for accessories or specific details. 6. Fabrics that are too heavy or too thin. Fabrics are as important as the cut of the clothes. Jennifer Aniston, known for her minimalist and elegant style, is rarely seen with very heavy or overly thin fabrics. And there's a reason for that. Very heavy fabrics, like some types of thick wool or tweed, add real volume to the body. A square-cut tweed jacket, for example, can visually add a few pounds, especially if it's oversized. On the other hand, fabrics that are too thin, like some types of low-quality jersey or viscose, tend to cling to every curve and fold, revealing details that we might prefer to keep discreet. As a lawyer who invested in financial education after 30, I learned to evaluate not just the price, but the quality of fabrics. A good quality fabric drapes better on the body, regardless of your size or shape. My advice is to invest in fabrics with good structure, but that still maintain fluidity. Silk, Egyptian cotton, good quality linen, and fine wool blends are excellent options. They mold to the body without clinging excessively and maintain their shape throughout the day. For formal events, a good silk jersey or crepe is infinitely more elegant and flattering than a cheap satin that marks all imperfections. As the French say, it's not the price of the clothes that matters, but how they fall on your body. 7. Unstructured elastic waist pants. Elastic waist pants gained popularity during the pandemic when comfort became a priority, but even celebrities like Jennifer Lopez, known for her fitness discipline, avoid this type of piece in public appearances. Why? Because pants with a completely elastic waist without any structure or formal closure tend to create a potato sack effect in the abdomen and hip region. The fabric accumulates and, without adequate structure, creates horizontal folds that add volume. As a mid-size woman who has always researched ways to dress well, I discovered that we don't need to give up comfort for elegance. There are modern options that combine partially elastic waist on the sides or back, maintaining a structured front with fasteners and belt loops. Designers like Stella McCartney have created pants that look formal and structured in front, but have discreet elastic in the back. It's the best of both worlds, comfort and elegance. A tip that revolutionized my wardrobe was investing in pants with a small percentage of elastane mixed with natural fabrics like cotton or linen. They offer comfort and mobility, maintaining the necessary structure to create an elegant silhouette. Remember, the goal is not to uncomfortably compress the body, but to create clean lines that value your natural silhouette. A well-cut pair of pants can work miracles for your appearance. 8. Shoes that are too delicate or too heavy. Shoes affect not only your comfort, but also the visual proportion of your entire body. Sarah Jessica Parker, in Sex and the City, could wear any type of shoe with her slender physique, but for most of us, the choice of footwear can make all the difference. Extremely delicate shoes, like very thin flats with pointed toes, can create a disproportionate effect on women with stronger or taller legs. It's like putting a pin to support a work of art, visually unbalanced. On the other hand, very heavy or chunky shoes, like some platform sneaker models or combat boots, can create a visual clown feet effect, especially on women of shorter stature or with shorter legs. As a woman who loves comfort but doesn't compromise on style, I discovered that the secret is in balance. A medium heel, 5 to 7 centimeters, is generally more flattering than a very high heel or completely flat shoe. The famous pump with a medium heel is a classic for a reason. It elongates the leg without creating disproportion. Another valuable tip: the color of the shoe matters as much as the model. Shoes in the same tone as your legs or pants create a continuous visual line, elongating the silhouette. That's why nude is considered the most versatile and elongating tone for shoes. For those who, like me, live with the accordion effect, having a few pairs of quality shoes that adapt well to weight variations is worth more than dozens of cheap shoes that hurt or devalue the look. 9. Belts that are too thin or too wide. The right belt can completely transform a look, while the wrong one can ruin it. Kate Middleton rarely uses very thin or extremely wide belts. She understands the power of the medium belt, approximately 3 to 4 centimeters in width. Very thin belts, especially on people with larger waists, can create a visual effect similar to a rope tying a package. They seem to sink into the waist instead of defining it elegantly. In addition, they can visually cut the torso in an unflattering way. Very wide belts, those with more than 7 centimeters, can visually shorten the torso and create a built-in effect in the waist region. They work well in fashion shows with 5'11" models, but in real life they can be problematic. For me, the ideal belt is one that defines the waist without visually dividing it. A medium belt, positioned at your natural waist, the narrowest point of the torso, creates a balanced silhouette. The material also matters. Soft leather belts adapt better to the body than very rigid versions. And the buckle? The more discreet, the more elegant and versatile the belt will be. A tip I learned from stylists: if you have wide hips or a generous bust, avoid contrasting belts that visually cut your body. A belt in the same color as the outfit, or in a very close shade, defines the waist without creating an abrupt visual division. How to create truly flattering outfits. Now that we know the main wardrobe villains, let's talk about how to create outfits that flatter any body type. Viola Davis, an actress I greatly admire, always appears impeccably dressed on red carpets, highlighting her natural silhouette. The fundamental principle is balance of proportions. If you have wider shoulders, like many professional swimmers, balance them with a slightly flared skirt or pants. If your hips are the widest point of your body, as in my case, create subtle volume in the shoulders with structured sleeves or interesting collars. The visual division of the body into thirds is more flattering than dividing it in half. This means that a blouse that ends at the hip, worn with mid-rise pants, creates more harmonious proportions than a short blouse with low-rise pants. Colors also play a fundamental role. Wearing the same color, or very close shades, from top to bottom, creates an uninterrupted vertical line that elongates the silhouette. It's no wonder that the monochromatic look is so popular among celebrities like Jennifer Lopez and Meghan Markle. As for accessories, they are your best friends in creating strategic focal points. A statement necklace draws the eye to the face and décolletage, while eye-catching earrings draw attention to the face. Remember, elegance isn't about hiding your body, but valuing it with conscious choices. As I always say here on the channel, well-applied elegance is extremely profitable. Whether in professional opportunities, relationships, or in the way you feel every day when you look in the mirror. If this content helped you, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell for more elegance tips that really work. And don't forget to check out my ebook, Be Elegant When Traveling. The link is in the first pinned comment. Until the next video, and remember, elegance is a daily choice.